There's a moment, right before you pull the trigger, right before you draw the knife, right before you close the trap and lock it. And in that moment, something happens in the animal's body, something you probably can't see, but it's there. The question is, does the animal feel it coming? Does it know? Not in the way you know, with language and understanding, but does it sense what's about to happen? Does it read something in your body, your breath, your intention, that says this is death? Because if it does, then every kill isn't just an ending. It's a betrayal of trust that the animal didn't even know it was giving. And that changes everything. Let's start with what wild animals are actually doing when they're around you. Every wild animal is running a threat assessment. Not sometimes, constantly. It's happening right now in any animal within a few hundred meters of you. The calculation happens faster than thought. Speed of approach, direction of movement, eye contact or no eye contact, posture, scent on the wind, breathing pattern. Your body is constantly broadcasting information. The animal's brain is constantly receiving it. And the output is almost always the same. Get away from the human. This isn't learned. It's not something the individual animal figured out by experience. It's inherited, encoded at a level deeper than personal knowledge. Even animals that have never seen humans before show this response, which means somewhere in the evolutionary history of almost every prey animal, something about humans became synonymous with danger. Not just any danger, the kind that ends you. In December 2005, a crab fisherman found a humpback whale tangled in rope lines, 18 miles off San Francisco. The ropes were wrapped around her mouth, her pectoral fins, her tail. 12 crab traps, 90 pounds each, hanging off her body. She was drowning, fighting constantly just to keep her blowhole above the surface. A rescue team arrived with 4 divers carrying curved knives. And here's the thing that matters. A single movement from her tail could kill any of them. One reflexive thrash, one panic response. They'd be dead, but she stopped moving the moment they entered the water. For over an hour, she held position. At several points, she repositioned herself, rotating her body, extending her fin, adjusting her angle in ways that gave the divers better access to the ropes. A 50-ton animal made space for humans with knives to work on her body. When the last rope was cut, she swam in circles around them, then surfaced beside each diver individually and nudged them with the tip of her jaw, one by one. Here's how threat detection actually works in most animals. A predator closing in for a kill moves with specific behaviors: speed, direct approach, aggression in the body, specific sounds. The animal's threat system is calibrated to detect exactly this pattern. It's not conscious, it's calibrated. When a human trying to help moves differently, slowly, without sudden gestures, touching the trap instead of the animal, the brain searches its entire threat library and comes back empty. No match found. With no recognized pattern to respond to, the system goes into a state researchers call suspension of threat response. The alarm doesn't switch off. It just loses its anchor point. The expected sequence of predator behavior never arrives, and the crisis response has nothing to lock onto. But here's what matters for your question. When an animal knows you're going to kill it, the pattern is completely different. Because you're not trying to hide your intent anymore. Your body language changes. Your breathing changes. Your biochemical signature shifts. An animal can smell adrenaline in human sweat from significant distance. They can hear your heart rate increase. They can see your pupils dilate. They can sense the physiological shift from observer to executor. And that's the moment the threat system activates differently. Not as unknown predator approaching, but as this specific threat is now imminent. And the animal knows. In the animal kingdom, staring directly into a predator's eyes is an act of absolute defiance. It means a fight to the death. So, when researchers found a wolf in a leg-hold trap, thrashing and snapping at every approach, they had to work against millions of years of predator programming. One researcher did something completely outside the predator template. He intentionally broke eye contact. He lowered his gaze. He turned his shoulders away. He slowed his breathing to a crawl. He made himself physically non-threatening. The wolf's threat library suddenly glitched. The expected sequence of an attack never came. After several tense minutes, the wolf stopped thrashing. It sat down, allowing its own rescue. When the trap was released, the wolf watched the researcher's hands carefully, then walked away. But it looked back. In Kenya, a juvenile elephant was pulled from a mud pit. After release, it made direct physical contact with the rescuer. Trunk to arm, trunk to hand. An elephant's trunk is its primary sensory organ. 40,000 individual muscles, nerve density comparable to human fingertips. When an elephant extends its trunk to touch something deliberately, it's an examination. Researchers noted the elephant held the contact for several seconds, trunk resting against the rescuer's arm, slow, deliberate. The elephant wasn't just released, it was actively choosing contact with its rescuer. Why? We don't know for certain. But what we do know is that elephants mourn their dead. They recognize themselves in mirrors. They carry social memories across decades. They return to the bones of dead companions and touch them with their trunks, the cognitive equipment to distinguish between a human who caused harm and one who ended suffering. They have that. So back to your question. Do animals know when you're about to kill them? The honest answer is, we genuinely don't know. But the data shows something fascinating. Animals can detect the shift from "this human is neutral" to "this human is now a threat." That shift is biochemical, it's behavioral, it's written in your body language and your scent, and the shift in your physiological signature. And they read it, which means they're experiencing that knowledge. They're experiencing the moment when they understand they're going to die. Here's what most people don't think about. An animal in that final moment of knowing doesn't experience death the way you would. It doesn't have time to process existential dread. It doesn't wonder if there's an afterlife. It doesn't think about regrets. It's entirely, brutally locked into the present. It just knows, threat, final threat, now. We don't know if that final awareness is suffering or a cold acceptance of the food chain. The data can't reach inside that moment. Science can describe the behavior, but it can't describe the experience. What we do know is that animals aren't passive. They're not ignorant. They're reading the world with sophistication we're only beginning to understand. And when you become a threat, when you shift from observer to executor, they know, they feel it, they sense it, and that knowledge changes everything about the moment. This is exactly the kind of hidden machinery of nature we decode here on Krynn. The questions that make you rethink every interaction with the wild. The mechanisms that reveal something about consciousness itself. If you want to keep looking at nature through a lens most people are afraid to use, subscribe to Krynn. Because the next time you step into the woods, remember, you aren't just looking at nature. Nature is running a calculation on you, and it already knows exactly who you are.
Hello friends, thank you for watching this video till the end. Let me know in the comment section which part of the video you like the most, and also suggest us the next topic for the video that you want. Thank you again, my family.